Hi, it's Amanda Edwards. Welcome to this installment of Real Community Conversations, which are real stories from real people out in the community about the issues that matter most. In this installment of Real Community Conversations, we'll feature students from the San Antonio area who will talk about the high cost of tuition. Check it out.
Okay, well, I just want to first start off by saying thank you for being willing to share your stories and have a conversation with me about something really important in our country, which is student debt. I know that you all are already aware of this, but in our country we have over $1 trillion worth of student debt outstanding, and of course that number continues to grow as we speak. Meanwhile, you've got students, people who are trying to get their higher education and access opportunity after that, who are faced really carrying a huge burden. I often say that you all, when people finish school, they have as much debt as a mortgage, except for the fact that they haven't even stepped foot in an open house. And it's not right to continue to have an increasing cost in that regard. So I'd like to hear your stories, your personal experiences, but before we do, can you just share a little bit about whatever you want in terms of your educational experience right now and who you are and like.
So my name is Mohammed. I go to St. Mary's University. It is a private institution. I'm on my third year of college, so hopefully I'll be finishing around the fall. I study political science, business, and communications. I do a little bit of everything. I love school. I do want to obviously seek higher education, but again, I don't know whether or not to take a gap year, and it becomes an issue because I want to go right into working. However, the bachelor's degree just doesn't cut it anymore. So that's just a little bit about me.
My name is Mark, and I actually graduated from St. Mary's University. I graduated in May of 2018, but Alondra brings up a good point about gap years. I have my degree in political science, but it isn't enough. I wanted to go straight into getting a master's degree, said I'll start the following fall in 2018. Well, we've already passed fall 2019, and I still haven't started a master's degree. And it's just struggling because, like you said, I haven't even started looking at houses yet because I don't have the money. I'm too busy trying to pay off almost $30,000 in student loans, and that interest rate just keeps getting higher and higher. So it's really scary, and I think it's extremely important that we try to fix this now, because you shouldn't be punished for having to want to pursue a better life and get a good education. It shouldn't be that way.
My name is Hazel. I go to UTSA, and I'm studying political science with a minor in philosophy, and I'll be graduating in just a few weeks in December of 2019. Thank you. I'm really excited to be entering this world with an education in political science, not just because of our political climate, but I believe in structural change from our government officials. The way that student debt has affected me is that I was very fortunate enough to have parents that allowed me to get my bachelor's degree with walking away with a smaller bill. However, though, seeking even higher education, since a bachelor's degree, like Alondra said, is that it's just preliminary now just to have a bachelor's degree. And I want to seek higher education, such as law school or even a master's degree, and that's preventing me is taking on that, $100,000 student debt.
My name is Darius. I go to UTSA. I'm a sophomore, and college debt has affected me my whole college career, honestly. Originally, I went to U of H. I had graduated from Hightower High School with a 3.9 GPA, 10%, top 10% in my class, and scholarships didn't cut it. It wasn't enough. Financial aid wasn't enough. After one semester at U of H, I had to put it on pause. I joined the military, got my GI Bill, hoping it would help pay, but here I am, probably a year later, and I still need more money. So now they're deploying me to Iraq so I can expand my GI Bill, but calculating the finances, even when I come back from Iraq, I'll still be in debt in some form or fashion. It gets to the point where I'm wondering about who pay rent, pay student loans. I shouldn't have to question what's more important.
I'm Edward, and I'm a recent graduate of both bachelor's and master's from St. Mary's University, 2017 for public administration. Political science, and 2019 for public administration. And seeing as that I have to start paying in January for my student debt, I hope that it's a smooth transition and that I can seek other forms of aid. And being in the job search right now is also adding pressure to that fact that student debt is right now one of my major concerns in this point in my life.
My name is Janelle. I'm a sophomore at UTSA, so I just started my upper education year. And I originally was a computer science major, but I didn't really enjoy it, so I switched to criminal justice, and I'm really loving it right now. The only problem is that UTSA's tuition is going up, and it was really unexpected that so many people voted for it, in the system, which is really disappointing because financial aid is mainly what I fall upon, and financial aid isn't going to cut it. And of course, my family can't really afford to pay for my student loans, which I've already taken out already, so many. So it's going to be a little difficult, but hopefully, our tuition goes down and that debt wouldn't be so hard on the students, especially newcoming students that want to pursue, their education, especially since, like people said before, a bachelor's degree isn't enough, and I want to go for my master's, so I would really like if tuition would go down.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for being here and sharing these stories. I guess, has anybody in this room, had an experience where they paused or thought about doing something different professionally when they get out because of the type of student debt that they were going to face? Raise your hand. And so has anybody also used that as a consideration of whether or not to go to a school or actually pursue higher education? And so this is an issue that really is impacting us pretty significantly. Share a little bit about, just in terms of your story, in terms of what some of those things you've had to weigh when you're thinking about whether or not you were going to be able to pursue the course that you are on because of this.
Yeah, so even going into my bachelor's degree, I think it was really difficult because we're going into a period of should we pay medical bills? Should we pay for food because we're moving from one country to another? And it was a really drastic change for myself. I have 4 brothers and 1 little sister. And trying to pay for school for everybody is really difficult, especially when you're not from this country. And so that alone just makes everything 10 times harder when you have a language barrier, when you don't have enough money, when you're trying to work 2 jobs and provide for your family. And I'm speaking on behalf of my parents, of course, but yeah. And then also being in school and having to work another job, like I worked in hospitals, and I made about, $10, $12 an hour, which is great, but it's not going to cover my books. It's not going to cover lunch. It's not going to cover rent. And so having to essentially put all these things that I want to do on hold and having to standstill because I can't afford all these things at once, really, it slows down my plans for the future. And I can't go to law school because I have to work. And hopefully, maybe FAFSA will do it, but then again, we also have that little consideration of do your parents need too much money because you're both working 9 to 5 jobs, making too much money, or is your family making too much money when there's bills and medical bills.
When you see these spikes in education costs, is anybody noticing a big increase in the quality of their education that is a corollary of that, or maybe it's a trick question?
I think so. I'm actually I'm a college and career readiness counselor at my old high school, so it's really nice, right? I'm where I spent so much time with, and a lot of my students, right? They're in the middle, the seniors, of applying to colleges, and just earlier this week, UTSA, or really all the University of Texas systems, announced they're raising tuition. And this is following several other universities across the school or across the country, both public and private. And the kids, they come to me and they start to panic because it's already, they're having to pay for a lot of these kids for applications. That range from $25 to $75, right? And they miss the cutoff by $1,000 to get a fee waiver. You know, their family makes just enough to where they don't qualify. They're paying all of this. They're trying to balance working as well, trying to save. And so many great students have come to me and said, I'll just stay here. Their dream is to go out of state, and they might get accepted, but they fear that they're not going to be able to pay that tuition. And it's so demoralizing, and you can try your best to motivate them and say, no, follow those dreams, because this is your one shot, right? It's very difficult to have to, as a transfer student myself, and you might attest to this as well, transferring, it becomes difficult, and it shouldn't be that way. I want to be, I wish I had unlimited money and I could just give it to them, but if we're starting to see that in our high schools now and they're stressing without having even seen a payment plan yet, you can tell there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I kind of want to add that, I transferred from U of H to UTSA because it was cheaper in my opinion. And even now, with financial aid, with scholarships, with the GI Bill, it's still a struggle to pay my bachelor's. I want to go to law school. If I'm struggling to pay my bachelor's with all that assistance, what am I going to do when it comes to law school? It's going to cost a lot more. I'm considering St. Mary's University's law school. And I already know for private schools, or if I want to go out of state, it will be a lot more. And I can't even handle it right now, so I don't know what to do.
And any closing thoughts about what you'd like to see in terms of making higher ed more accessible cost-wise?
So cost-wise, I hope that along with different student loan forgiveness plans, that government action is taken, whether it's through Congress or local communities or at the state level, that they find out better solutions and to make sure that the economy of the future isn't burdened for a lifetime with student debt.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for sharing your personal opinions and stories and anecdotes about your experiences surrounding the student debt. And I will say to you, thank you. Keep your head up. I know this seems like a little depressing. We talk about all this debt. And hopefully, we will start seeing a wave of change. That's going to have to start in academia, of course, but it shouldn't just be there. If you look at these academic institutions, whether they're public or private, they get federal grant dollars, right? We could tie to those federal grant dollars some means of controlling costs. Those are ways in which you can have government solutions, you can have private solutions, you can have a variety of stakeholders and players now trying to work collaboratively toward addressing an issue that's really crippling a lot of folks. And so I want you to keep your head up, still go to school, do your best, and elect people like me, and we'll work on it from the government side of things. But it's going to have to be everybody chipping away at this issue because it's a big deal and it affects the gateways to opportunity. So thank you all for sharing the story and for allowing me to hear your experiences as well.
Thank you so much.
Well, that wraps up our Real Community Conversations, which are real stories from real people out in the community about the issues that matter most. I look forward to you joining me next time.